So this video is going to be inspired by a small argument I had on Discord with the boy Peter. Shout out to Peter if you see this video. Um, DJ Hives said it best in his book Die Sheep Will Die, where he highlighted that sheeple, cattle orcs, goyim, the bacteria. Shout out to Dan. Dan calls the cattle orcs bacteria. However you want to. Oh, I got some Super Saiyan hair going on in the back. Let's take care of that. But essentially, the masses believe that the laws of nature do not apply to themselves and do not apply to the people that they know. The argument that I had with Peter was he had a situation with a chick, and the chick rejected him, and Peter essentially, his thought process was that the girl was just sitting at home reading the Bible all day. No. What you guys have got to understand is that women are human beings just like men. Now, I know what y'all are saying. Why does that need to be directly stated? Isn't it obvious? To some people, it's not so obvious. Some people, again, there's people thinking that the laws of nature don't apply to everything that exists in nature. The laws of the universe apply to everything that exists in the universe. Because women are humans, they have natural human desires. They have natural human sexual desires. If a woman rejects you, okay, she's not going to be sitting at home reading the Bible, waiting for a prince to climb up her ladder and wife her. That's not what happens. If a woman rejects you, it's usually because she either has somebody else who she's with, or she has somebody else who she desires to be with. But she's not just sitting around doing nothing, generally speaking. It's 2025. Women are going outside and they're getting busy. You have to accept that humans have natural desires. These natural desires are strong. Now, there are people who ignore these natural desires for a while, but everything eventually comes out. The longer you suppress what you desire, the stronger it is when it does finally come out. So yeah, you do have some chicks, because of religion and culture and upbringing, who will delay what they desire for a set amount of time. But when it does finally come out, it really comes out. Okay? You guys, this whole thing is simple, man. Okay? Society tries to get you not to think about what is natural, so that you never really understand what's going on. But if you just sit down and you just observe nature, right? You use yourself to think about what you naturally desire, and then you look at other humans and you analyze, are these natural desires consistent across the board? And if you ever want proof, all you got to do is go outside. Because in order for something to be true, it has to have a basis in nature. If you can't walk outside and see with your own two eyes what is true, it's probably not. And the truth will be consistent and reoccurring over a large sample size. Now, Mr. Peter, of course, didn't like me pointing out that the chick who he was interested in, who's of his age, which means, listen, bro, 20-year-old women are not virgins. I can't believe I have to say this. Women are not waiting until they're 20 to start fucking, okay? They're humans like us. They have natural desires. And the thing is, right, we're going to play devil's advocate. Let's say you found a unicorn. Let's say you did find a 20-year-old woman who's still a virgin. Guess what? You attract what you are. So unless you're a unicorn, you're not going to attract another unicorn. Now, I'm not implying that a man needs to not fuck for 20 years. That's not what I'm saying. Because men and women are different, okay? What I am saying is that if you're not already that guy If you're not already the unicorn that other unicorns are attracted to, even if you did find a woman who wasn't sleeping around when she's 20, or by the time she's 20, guess what? It's not going to happen. You got to be the strong dominant energy to attract other strong dominant energies. Women understand the game, guys. There is a reason why women will show who they really are to men who they have no desire to be with. But when it comes to that guy they really fucking want, suddenly they're celibate, suddenly they left their past behind, suddenly that they're just perfect housewife material, right? And some guys fall for the trap, right? They'll meet a chick who's 21, who lost their virginity when they were 12, fucked around for 5, 6, 7 years, but suddenly when she meets you, oh, I left all that behind. I don't go clubbing anymore. I'm not a party girl anymore. I grew up and I decided I wanted to settle down and have a family with you. And if you don't have experience with women, you're going to fall for the trap. You're going to fall for the trap, okay? See, one form of natural deception is self-preservation. Women understand this, okay? Women want to engage in their natural desires without being judged, but they know they're going to be judged. Now, obviously, the most optimal thing for a woman to do is to save herself for the guy she really wants to be with, but human desires are strong, especially in 2025 where Western society is presenting this idea that there's less consequences for being promiscuous as a woman, okay? Abortion is now legal in a lot of states, so women are like, okay, that's one concern gone out the window, right? I can just kill my own child if I accidentally get pregnant, no problem, right? They think there's no consequences for that, not realizing there's an ultimate consequence for that. But I'm not going to talk about it in the video because there's other stuff I got to focus on. They see all their other friends being promiscuous at 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, right? You know, and it's funny because on TikTok and on Instagram, on all social media pages, right? Why do you think, okay, the women that have the nose rings and the tattoos and shit, even as teenagers, why do you think they're making their profile pictures of them when they were little kids before they began sexual activity? Because women fucking know, bro. They know that they're at their best when they have as least amount of bodies as possible. But self-preservation is natural. So they're going to fulfill their natural desires while they're younger. And then when they meet a sucker like you who thinks you found a unicorn, they're going to put on the mask. Yeah, I used to be a party girl, but I left off. And just think, you should feel insulted, right? She already gave her energy to all these other different guys, sometimes as soon as she met them, sometimes the same day she met them. But you're the dude she wants to have a family with, and she's going to make you wait? So she's treating you worse than she did all those other guys she fucked just because she found them attractive. But you're the guy she wants to start a family with. You gotta have sex to have a family, right? But you're the guy who she wants to have a family with, and you're gonna accept less when other guys got her for free? You're gonna play all these games when all these other guys didn't? Women know this is how men think. That's why they present their mask. You ask them how many bodies they have, and they said, oh, well, you know, I had one because I was just curious. So my friends did it, and I wanted to see what it was like. And then I fucked again with my long-term boyfriend who I dated for 10 years. So by the time she meets you, you think she only has 2 bodies. You think you're only going to be her third. Or some of the more bold women just... Women don't really say they're virgins anymore, though. They know men are stupid, but they know men aren't that stupid anymore, that they're going to fall for the, oh, I'm a virgin at 20 crap. So most women don't do that anymore. But what they do try to do is they try to keep it under 5, right? And again, man, if you're walking around thinking that the laws of nature don't apply to the second half of humans, the female, right? Technically the third half, but hermaphrodites make up such a small percentage of humanity, I'm really not even going to include them on the graph. So the second half of humanity, females, right? A lot of men just don't think women are humans. A lot of men think women don't have sexual desires. A lot of men think women don't have natural desires that are universal to every human that is alive. There was one kid on the Power 101 Discord. He was 17 at the time. I think he would be 21 now. This was a couple of years ago, right? He directly told me in a voice call, and he was being serious, that women don't like to have sex. He's a virgin. Now, on the one hand, it's like, okay, he's inexperienced, so because he's not that guy, he doesn't know that women like having sex more than men do because he's not fucking, right? But on the other hand, it's like, dude, you're 17, you're a senior in high school. If you go to a public school, you see what's going on. If you go to a public school, you hear the rumors, you go to the parties, and if you don't go to the parties, you hear about the parties. You know what's going on. So even if you yourself are not experienced, you still know what's going on. So to say with confidence that women, and it was such a ridiculous statement that even the chick in the call had to correct him. No, we like having sex, right? So I want to make this video because I see the comments and people be telling me all kinds of ridiculous shit on Discord and other various forms of social media, but you know, nobody on TikTok or Instagram or nobody on my other social media knows I have a YouTube channel because I don't share my YouTube channel because you know what, seeking you shall find. But yeah, just too many ridiculous comments of men who are usually inexperienced just falling for the self-preservation deception of women acting like. And here's something you gotta realize, right? So it's no secret that I go to the source, right? I still go to track meets. I still go to community events. I'm outside, bro. I fucking socialize. I have fun. I meet people, okay? If women did not enjoy having sex, okay, why do they walk around in public half naked? Why are they presenting their strongest, what they believe is their strongest element, their bodies, in order to attract people they want to fuck? Why are they doing that? Okay? A lot of people on the internet pretend like they care about minors being exposed to adults, right? And this is why I say pretend, right? At the teenage level, woman competes in little clothing, right? They wear even less clothing as they become adults and they compete in the adult world. Why is there not a world, well, let me not say worldwide. We're going to focus in America because that's where I live. In America, why is there not a national outcry to make teenage girls compete in more clothes? Why don't the girls themselves complain about this? It's almost like they want to advertise, right? Why do they wear less clothes as they get older and have the freedom to wear less clothes? It's almost like they want to advertise, right? Now, use your fucking brains. Do you think they're advertising for a future husband dressing the way they do? Or do you think they're advertising for another human being, man or woman, who has the same natural sexual desires that they do? I have a feeling that what I'm saying is going to make people uncomfortable. Good. Something I learned a long time ago, if somebody tells you something and you don't feel anything, they're probably not telling you the truth. Because the truth is going to, initially, if it's your first time hearing it, the truth is going to piss you off. Right? And then, even after you've become used to hearing things you're not used to hearing what is true is still going to trigger an emotional response. It's still going to make you feel some type of way because we live in the world of lies. Yeah, women are working around half naked. They're not complaining that sports make them basically compete half naked, right? But they're just doing this just to do it. They're not doing it to attract people to have sex with. They're not presenting. Because think about this, right? Everybody knows that in terms of a long-term relationship, looks, while they are important, sexual attraction is important, it's not going to be the deciding factor on if a relationship works out. And women know this. They present themselves the way they do because in 2025, a lot of them aren't necessarily looking for a relationship. They have desires and they want those desires fulfilled. Of course, they learn the hard way the consequences of having no impulse control, but a lot of you guys just needed to hear this, man. The Jarvis dude, right? He says that he doesn't want to see women. He doesn't want to have a relationship. He doesn't want to fuck. He just wants to do his own thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Jarvis, man, I'm going to talk to you now directly because most of the video was about the Peter guy. You can choose to be inexperienced with women if you want to. But understand something. Your natural desires will eventually kick in. And by being inexperienced for so long, when you do finally decide to start interacting with women again, you're going to find that you're ill-equipped to handle the job. I'm not telling anybody to force themselves to do anything they don't want to do, but what I am saying is that, all of your actions naturally have consequences, regardless if you agree or disagree with those consequences or not. Voluntarily choosing to be inexperienced, both as a man and a woman, has consequences, and voluntarily choosing to be too experienced has consequences as a man and a woman. So the consequences for a man and a woman are different. Promiscuous women, and women know this. This is why when women are younger and they're in their prime and they're the most beautiful they're ever going to be, they use their natural gifts to fulfill their natural desires. As they get older and they realize time is running out, that's when they put the mask on. Yeah, I'm not like that anymore. Oh yeah, I've only been with 2 guys, And then suckers like you will fall for it. Because you're ill-equipped for the job. You're now at the point where your desires are so strong because you've gone so long being inexperienced that you're just going to believe anything. And there's a chick I've been talking to who I'm probably going to have to just let her know the bad news the hard way, right? In terms of physical attraction, she's a 10 out of 10, right? Physically good looking, face, body, everything. Voice sexy as a motherfucker, right? She's got a thick Ukrainian accent, right? But she's 24. Y'all saw the video and the live stream I made talking about what happens to women when they turn 25, what happens to their eggs, what happens to their bodies. I'm 31. A kid, I'm not gonna, I mean, adults feel disrespected when I call them kids, right? If you're 22 years old, yeah, by law, you're an adult. But you're really not. You don't know shit at 22. But a kid, a passenger, my last passenger for last night, actually. He got in the call, we were talking, You feel me? He was a talkative little fucker, but he was cool, so I engaged the conversation. He just finished. He just finished undergrad at Johns Hopkins University, and he was going back to Texas to start his job. Right? Kid fresh out of college. 22 for a man is different than 22 as a woman. Men and women live completely different lives. That's why it's dangerous to lie to people and say that men and women are the same and you can just pick your gender. That's not how it works. Again, these transsexual people and the people that just want to walk around lying, like, y'all don't understand there's natural consequences for denying the laws of nature. Denying what you naturally are has consequences. Go ahead and lie to a 25-year-old woman if you want to and tell her that she can now be a man when where most of her fucking eggs are gone. Tell her to be a man for 10 years, then tell her to try to have children when she's 35. Y'all are creating a dangerous society. Right now, the people are docile, but they're gonna snap eventually. And when I say y'all, I'm not blaming the ruling elite. The ruling elite are gonna do what they gotta do to stay in power. Self-preservation is natural. I'm blaming you fuckers. I'm not angry at the teachers for telling y'all there's 20 different genders. I'm angry at y'all for believing this shit. I'm not angry at the teachers for telling y'all that you can pick your own fucking sex whenever you want. Self-preservation, they want to keep their jobs, so they're playing the game, right? They're not going to disobey their masters because then they'll get fired. I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming you fuckers for believing this shit and eating it up like candy, even though you know it's bullshit. Well, yeah. Hopefully the chick doesn't see this video, because you know how women are. They stalk you when they're interested in you. Yeah, I might have to let her know the bad news, you know. I enjoy spending time with her, but she's 24, man. And yeah, I'm 31. Oh yeah, the passenger I was just talking about, the reason I brought him up is because he thought I was his age, right? Everybody thinks I'm in my early 20s, but I told him, no, I'm 31. And he's like, damn, you look good. You got no wrinkles. Doesn't look like you have any stress. Yeah, you're taking care of yourself. I'm like, yeah, thank you. But it's a different reality, man. You know, at 31 years old, right? And I'm happy I was born a man because, wow. Women really have to get it when they're kids. Because I consider anybody under 25 to be a kid. The woman I'm talking about, who I may have to just tell her the bad news, she's under 25, so I consider her a kid, but it's funny because mentally your brain is not fully developed at 24, but her physical body, her eggs, bro, them bitches is gone. And that's not the only reason. But if you care about your future children and you know what happens to women as they get older, you can't reproduce with a 24-year-old woman, bro. Like, if you care about your children, like, I'm glad I was born a man, bro. Yeah. I first began learning the truth when I was 13, 14 years old. I really started to get it when I was 19, 20, 21. So her age range, right? But it didn't really fully sink into me until 2021 when I was 27 years old. That's when I realized the final step that I was missing. You have to relinquish control to gain control. Every girl I dated from 2021 to before that, I gave them free lunch because I cared about them. I told them the truth. I told them everything. And I was even, and they liked that they didn't have to make any decisions. They liked that I was telling them what to do. And women, a lot of them will deny this, but they like when you lead them. But that's the problem. You're a human being. You have free will. You have to lead yourself. Now, there's nothing wrong with influencing women you care about. That's the correct way to do it. You give them a little bit. You encourage them to use their free will to make the right decision, but you can't tell them what to do. And, yeah, man, women really have no time to get it. A woman enters her prime when she's 16. And it's no coincidence that the legal age of consent in most places is 16. Some younger than that, but we're speaking specifically about America, right? A woman enters her prime when she's 16. Women produce the healthiest babies between 16 through 25. Now, that's going to sound like a contradiction, but I'll look at things long term. Let's say I start dating a 24-year-old woman right now. I'm not going to immediately have kids with her. We got to spend a couple of years to see if this is going to work, right? So, what age would we have children? 26, 27, 28? Come on, bro. Y'all gotta, come on, bro. I made a whole video talking about the eggs thing. And plus, how many bodies do y'all think a 24-year-old woman has? I know a lot of you guys believe that if you become strong enough, you can turn a whore into a housewife. I'm gonna tell you guys what I told my homeboy Israel. Shout out to Israel. Let's say you turn a whore into a housewife. Then what? What do you think that woman is gonna do? Okay? How many bodies do you think a 24-year-old woman has? Let's say she only has 5, right? Do you want your daughter to have 5 bodies? She's going to teach your daughter that, yeah, you can sleep around when you're younger. I got your father. It works out. If you care about the future of your family, you can't reproduce with these chicks. Okay? And she told me the guy she used to be engaged with. That's another thing you guys got to do, right? Because women know, man. They know when their time is running out. Women will spend their youth chasing losers. And then when they enter 23, 24, 25, and they know they're supposed to be married and have a family, they're going to start seeking out the types of guys they should have went for in the first place. But it's 2025. Men know better now. That's why you see all these TikTok videos and YouTube videos of women panicking. But for some fucking reason, even the cattle orc guys know this. But some of you people that come on my channel, some of y'all don't know this. Y'all really think that a woman who's 16, 17, 18, 19, she rejects you, oh, she must be rejecting everybody, not knowing she's been with 100 guys already. I don't take women seriously, bro. I don't take women seriously at all. I mean, let me not say that. When it's a strong woman who isn't playing games, I take her seriously. But most of these chicks walking around, bro, you can't take them seriously. Anyways, man, I think it's time for me to wrap this video up. Peter, and you know, the whole reason we had that argument in the first place is because I bluntly told him, I'm like, dude, I met you a year ago and you've made no progress. This is my final message to Peter. I'm going to show him this video. And a lot of you guys needed to see this video, man. A lot of y'all, when y'all were teenagers, a woman rejected you and you thought she was rejecting everybody. And then years later, you found out what she was really doing. You found out how she was really getting down. And then another type of the same woman approached you. Oh, I left that in the past. Really? Well, tell me about your last relationship. Oh, he was a loser, right? Okay. You spent 3 years dating a loser. Now you want me. Y'all better wake up, man. Shout out to females, because y'all naturally understand natural law to some degree. Better than most men. But while women are born understanding natural law a bit better than average men, they don't understand it at all compared to men who get it. It's easier for a man to get it because we have time. Our bodies work differently. We have time to get it. Not much time, but we still have time. Women, on the other hand, they have no time at all. They really need to begin looking for the right guy while they're still young. Or they'll never be able to attract that right guy ever again in the future. This video is for the guys. Some of y'all, not just Jarvis, some of y'all have commented on my videos saying that you're going to voluntarily remain inexperienced. You can do that if you want to. But understand, if you ever change your mind in the future and you decide later on that you want to have children, because you're inexperienced, you're not going to be equipped to deal with how women are now. Because a lot of advice on the internet is either completely outdated or just flat out wrong. Catch you guys in the next video.